everybody, Donnie Eisenhower here, and welcome back to another Post 302 exam review. Today we're continuing with Post 302 course, Section 3. In the first two videos we covered contract law, CLAP, contract forms, amendments versus addendas, and broker responsibilities. Today we're covering another group of topics that frequently appear on the class exam. Offer versus contract. Offer and acceptance. The mailbox rule. Communication. Termination of offers. And Form 340-T. If you have not already downloaded today's worksheet, grab it from the link below. And if these reviews are helping you prepare for the class exam, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, y'all. Let's jump in. Offer versus contract. One of the easiest questions on the exam is also one of the easiest to miss. Many students think that an offer is a contract, and it's not. An offer is simply a proposal. A contract is created only after four things occur: an offer, an acceptance, communication of that acceptance, and all the essential contract elements are present. And so until acceptance is communicated, there is not a contract. So remember this phrase: every contract begins with an offer, but not every offer becomes a contract. Remember that point. Now, communication creates the contract. You know, the Adventure Guide spends a lot of time discussing communication. Why? Because acceptance alone isn't enough. Acceptance must be communicated, and communication may occur by personal delivery, telephone, mail, email, or electronic signature system. The important question isn't, did the seller sign? The important question is, was acceptance communicated? And so until communication happens, the offeror can generally revoke the offer. That's a huge concept to understand. Now, communication to an agent. Here's another concept that people tend to overlook. Communication to the agent is legally the same as communicating to the principal. So let's use an example. The seller signs the offer. The listing agent immediately notifies the buyer's agent. Legally, the buyer has been notified. You don't have to personally call the buyer. The law treats communication to the authorized agent exactly as a communication to the client. So if you remember nothing else, remember agent equals principal for purposes of communication. Now, with the mailbox rule can show up and can be confusing at times. So the basic rule is this: if acceptance is mailed and the offer allows that method, acceptance becomes effective when it is in place, when it's placed into the control of mail services. Not when the other party receives it, not when they read it, when it is mailed. And so a few important points to remember here. The acceptance must be properly addressed. Once mailed, neither party can withdraw the offer or acceptance. And also remember, the mailbox rule only applies to acceptance. It does not apply to terminating an offer or terminating a contract. And so another topic that likes to be tested is, how can an offer terminate? There are several ways, there are 5 ways actually, that can terminate an offer. 1, a counteroffer. A counteroffer rejects the original offer and creates a brand new offer. 2, rejection by the offeree. 3, revocation by the offeror before acceptance is communication. 4, destruction of the property. And then finally, death or legal insanity of the offeror before acceptance. If acceptance has not been communicated, there is no contract. And so the form 240-T on the exam question specifically asks about this form. Students often think it's a counteroffer, and it is not. The response to buyer's offer form simply tells the buyer, I am not accepting your offer, I am rejecting your offer, but I'd like for you to consider making another offer. The seller is free to accept another offer, continuing negotiating, or even go under contract with someone else. So remember that the form 340-T is not a counter offer. Instead, it invites the buyer to submit a better offer. That's exactly why it works well in a multiple offer situation. And so present every offer. One final reminder here is present every offer. North Carolina brokers have a legal duty to present every offer, and that means immediately and never later than 3 days after receiving it. Even if the property is already under contract, even if you think the offer is too low, present it. Also remember, never hold an offer while trying to negotiate your compensation. This is specifically addressed in the course material and is important. It is important broker responsibility for us to understand. So before taking your class exam, be sure you can answer these questions. When does an offer become a contract? After acceptance has been communicated. Does communication to an agent count? Yes, it does. It is legally the same as communicating to the principal. When does acceptance become effective under the Mailbox Rule? When properly mailed. Does the Mailbox Rule apply to terminating an offer? No, it does not. Only acceptance. What is Form 340-T? That's a response to buyer's offer, and it's not a counteroffer. How quickly must a broker present an offer? Immediately, but no later than 3 days after receiving it. Great job! And if you're understanding these concepts, you're prepared to another step of another group of questions from day 1 of Post 301 class exam, and you're working to passing the class. In our next video, we'll continue working through the remaining testable topics so that by the end of this series, you should receive and review every major topic that appears on the exam. And so if this video has helped you, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up and download today's worksheet to use that as study material for the class exam. Y'all, thank you for watching. I'll see you in section 4. And remember, like always, I am here to help you from licensing to close.